in this video, I will be taking you through the timelines of applying to the UK universities via UCAS for your undergraduate course and getting accepted into your dream university. So in the admission process cycle, the first step is selecting a course. And this is a personal question that requires a bit of self-reflection and is going to be determined on sort of your aspirations, your career interest, your interest in the subject matter. Essentially, what do you want to dedicate the next 3 or 4 or more years of your life studying at your dream university? And this is something that you should figure out towards the end of your O-levels or GCSEs. The reasons for this are twofold. Number one, this will allow you to gain enough experience and expertise or really explore your interest during your A-levels in terms of the courses you select, in terms of the activities you choose, and that go a long way in submitting a very strong application or UCAS. And secondly, the course that you select might have some requirements of the courses that you need at your A-levels. So for example, if you're studying medicine, you might need to take certain courses that are required, and it's really helpful to know that before you enter your A-levels, so you can make that informed selection of your A-level courses. It certainly happens that students change their mind later on, but then that means taking another course or changing or some altering course study. So it's really helpful to narrow down what you would like to study at the university stage by the time you end your O-levels. So once that's done, step 2 is selecting your university choices or finalizing your university choices. So we all know that UCAS allows you up to 5 universities, and this will sort of require you to go through a list of all the universities in the UK. And the determination is going to be made, again, on a host of factors. This is going to include the university rankings, the university reputation, your interest, the location of the academic institution, the activities that they have, the courses that they have, the academic staff they have, some professors that might really interest you. And it's going to be a mix of all those factors combined that is finally going to end up in the selection of 5 universities. So my suggestion there is that pick a paper and pencil or make a list on your laptop and start by adding all the universities that you would like to apply. Initially, you might come up with a list of 20 or 25, and then the next and sort of through the process of elimination, one by one, you can start to eliminate those universities until you have a selection of 5. And what's helpful in that process is to talk to students who have been at those universities, at those courses. You can reach out to your alumni, you can talk to academic advisors and counselors, and depending on your grades and your interest, what would be those 5 university selections. It's really helpful to narrow down these 5 university courses by the time you finish your first year of A-levels. So once the course selection is done and the university choices are narrowed, step 3 is to start working on your personal statement. And a really good time to do this is in between the summer of your first and second year of A-levels. And the personal statement is a very important component of your application, and it takes a lot of time and effort and resources, and beginning it in the summer early on in the application process is going to give you time to revise and edit and re-revise and re-edit and get your personal statement checked by academic counselors and consultants for it to be at the level that you would feel proud of and you would like to submit it to your university. So personal statement, the summer between your first and second year of A-levels. So once you have narrowed down your course, figured out the 5 universities you would like to apply to, and have begun working on the personal statement, step 4 is to finally submit your application. And the application can be submitted in any time after mid-September. And once you have all the things in order, including your reference letters, including filling up the UCAS application, you can submit it as soon as that mid-September date. And it's helpful to submit it as early as possible, because the earlier the process, the less anxiety it is for you, and it's really good to get that out of the way. A few notes before we sort of wrap this entire conversation up is that some schools have internal deadlines, and they have that because they would want all the students to apply and make sure all the references are in order. So if your school has an internal deadline, then be really cognizant about that and make sure you submit your application by that deadline. And another note is for those candidates who are applying to Oxford and Cambridge. And we did do a separate video on this, but Oxford and Cambridge applications are more demanding and require a lot more effort than applications to other universities in the UK. So it's really helpful to know as early as possible whether you would want to apply to Oxford and Cambridge. I am working with students who are in their 7th and 8th grade who are sure that they want to apply to Oxford and Cambridge. And you are competing against these kind of students. So the earlier you know, the better it is. And it will give you more time to prepare your application and start building on your experiences that will sort of add to your competitive application to Oxford and Cambridge. So I think at most, by the time you begin your A levels, you should have a really good idea if you would like to apply to them, and then also start working towards those applications. Another note is for those students who are applying to professional programs. So if, for example, you're applying to medicine, then it's important to know about the deadlines for that course. And also those kind of courses will require a specific test. And it's important to know the deadlines for those tests, start preparing for those tests in due time, and start making your application for that. So just to wrap this conversation up, step 1 was selecting a course. You should have done that by the time you finish your GCSEs or O levels. Step 2 is narrowing down your university course selection to 5 universities. That should be done ideally by the end of your first year of A levels. Step 3 is to start working on your personal statement, and that should be happening between the summer of your first year and second year of A levels. Step 4 is finally submitting the application, and the answer to that is the earlier you can submit it, the better it is.